Trouties! Happy Friday and the weirdest week of the year. I'm like losing my voice a little bit. I have had the pleasure of being with my mom and sisters and our spouses for almost a week this past week. And I swear the entire time all of us were like, what day is it? What's going on? I don't know what day it is. I don't know. And then just eating more cheese. But I am back in the studio, ready for the new year and all the excitement that that brings. And I'm sure everybody's doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to have a little recap of 2017 today. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Sierra Bailey, and I am the designer, the maker, the everythinger here at Manic Trout. And on Fridays, I go live so that you can get a peek at me, the person behind Manic Trout, and maybe get some style tips, some facts about growing the business behind the scenes. There's all sorts of stuff that we do here. Today's going to be, as it is everywhere this week, an end of the year recap. What are the things that I loved? Maybe what are the things that needed to change or that I reflected on, things like that. If you're watching live and you have a question or want to add something about this year, throw it right there in the comments and I will answer it. I think sometimes the comments don't show up, but usually they do. And if you are watching this after it's live, which I know most of you do because it is 1 p.m. Central, I can of course write a reply to your comments because I always watch these and I love to talk to you Trevies. All right, so what are some of the cool things that I loved about this past year running Manic Trout? Well, one, I had a live TV show. I actually forgot about that until just now. And that was really cool to do, and I loved it, and I found out that I'm great at live TV, but it did have a lot of scheduling conflicts with Manic Trout, so I opted to not continue with the show. But that was a really cool thing about this year. I loved doing that, and as a result, one of the other really cool things from this year happened, and that was that I started doing these live videos. This is the 40th live video, which means the first ones weren't really in order, but it's been basically like 3/4 of a year that I've been doing these on Friday, which are really cool. I love being able to talk to you Trouties and share with you kind of the things going on at Manic Trout. I also did something kind of cool this year that I separated. All right, so we'll kind of talk, we'll do a little behind the scenes for those of you that don't know, because I talk about this all the time. I'd love for you to know kind of like what it's really like to have a jewelry brand. I do 4 main collections a year. Spring, summer, and fall, winter in the obvious seasons are the biggest collections with 24 pieces. Now, here's a little something. If I were designing clothing instead of jewelry, I would be releasing probably this spring, summer, like in the fall. It would come out like a couple of seasons before. But with jewelry, people and stores shop more in the season. They don't shop ahead of time. So I do release the spring, summer in the beginning of March. I release the fall, winter in the beginning of September. And I release a resort collection in the middle of the summer. And the holiday collection, which I have recent years started doing as the M by Manic Trout, my high-end one-of-a-kind collection, at the holidays. I like to do that on like Cyber Monday. It's fun that way. And this past year, what I've started doing is that instead of doing half of the bigger seasons, which are the 24 pieces of the like animals, I, 1, started bringing in non-animals, and 2, started just releasing the animals on the months that I don't release collections. So the animals, with the help of one of the VIP Trouties, Abigail, were renamed the menagerie, because a menagerie is actually where it's like a collection of like animals or like kind of things like that, which I thought was so perfect. She did such a great job on that suggestion. And those now come out. So for example, if I have the spring, summer comes out in March, so then the animals would come out February and April. And I usually, they're not all animals, but most of you know them as animals. Now I have all sorts of other things that are in there. There's a pineapple, there are leaves, things like that. So these now are just kind of like introduced throughout the year. So I also tried something, and this was a fail. I tried doing them that they were limited edition, and I think, did I do that last year? And I had done like that you could only get them that month. So as time has gone on, they are still kind of limited edition. Some of them I use things that I can't necessarily, like maybe some cool stones that I won't be able to get more of. Like I'll buy at like a gem show or something, and I just buy what I think I need. I don't buy enough to like make them forever, or, you know, the 2 years that I actually have things going. So these are, like, I tried being like, the March ones would only be available for the month of March, say. That didn't work. I would like them available longer than the month of March, because another thing that I learned is that most of you Trouties like to have more of a methodical approach to adding to your collection of Manic Trout jewelry. It's not as much impulse buy, which is understandable due to the price point, but more of a like, oh, I think I'm going to want that, and then, you know, kind of plan for it. Trouties are planners. That's one of the delightful things that I'm finding. A lot of you really like to like think things through a little bit, or, you know, think forward a little bit. So the monthly menagerie editions are available longer than the month, but they are not available in an unlimited amount. Like, for example, the mermaid necklace, I can't remember the name of it. I think I leave like 2 of those left because of that cut of fluorite that I use with them. There was only so much I could get. I did actually find more at one point, so I was able to have them through the holidays, but I think I have like 2 strands left of the gemstones. So that, you know, was kind of a trial and error thing. And I like part of it and I didn't like part of it. I don't like the really, really, really short run of it. I don't think that is very fair to how Trouties like to shop. But I love that I separated them out of the collections, because now the 24 pieces of spring, summer, and fall, winter are all probably will be like 2 styles. The resort and the M are usually 12 pieces. And there you go. Other months are otherwise. All right, what else did I love about this year? Oh, I had another like love-hate. So the Girl in the Sea collection, I posted about that this morning on the Facebook page. Love the colors, love the texture, love the design. Who did not realize that the flat sea glass that I used in that, for those of you that ordered, you got little messages from me after the first couple of weeks, because the first couple of weeks, everything that I sent out was like a 50% chance that something about shipping those made the sea glass crack in the front. And I don't know why. I contacted my source for them. They didn't know why. There was a lot of back and forth, and it made me really mad at them, not the people, the sea glass, for a while. But I'm kind of an experimental material person, and I like to try new things, and I like things that are pretty. And I'm not a manufacturer. I'm a designer, and I make everything handmade, so sometimes things fail. So that was it was like a fail, but yet a win, because I know we all loved the colors and the design of it, but whew, that was tough. It took a while to figure out kind of the workaround around that, and thank you all for your patience that did get them and did have issues that we got them figured out, but it was stressful. And that's some of the stuff that happens when you own a business, though. So that was kind of I love that collection, but at the same time, it was a very big learning experience on what happens when you work with a material that just is not agreeing with you. It was a trying moment, but hey, you know, I still would be willing to take that risk for something so pretty like that. All right, I have a little note, that's why I keep looking down. Another great thing that I loved about this year is that, thank you to all of you Trouties who really pushed for this. We now have animals, menagerie pieces, in silver. So this is kind of exciting. And this is going to lead to one of the things that I hope to kind of try out in 2018. And that is that when I started getting it was hard for me to find a place that I could have the menagerie pieces plated, that I didn't have to have like everything plated and wouldn't be a really long turnaround. So it's been some trial and error on that too, because the silver pieces still say, at first it was they'll need an extra 2 weeks, and now it's an extra week, so we're getting there. But I loved the look of the silver over each of the little motifs so much. Show you one that I have. See, look at this detail. See how it shows it as the dark in there and everything. For those of you that have not been kind of watching along on Facebook, it's amazing. Yes, obviously my silver fan Trouties are very excited about the silver, but the contrast of them and the detail that it showed. Let me look for a non-silver. Okay, so here is like what I had been using. So this is not going to be that great to help you because I don't have the silver version of it. But you see how it's like all one color and you can't see a lot of like detail and contrast. So when I started having them plated in the silver, you started to really see the details pop. And I was like, well, now I like those better. I don't know what to do about that. There was a slight, obviously I've had to get them plated, so there was a slight cost increase for these. So I figured, well, if we're going to do that, I would rather not have 2 prices. I'd rather have all one. So we're now going to have them plated in a matte gold as well. So this is a change that's going to happen this year. Every time I introduce anything for the menagerie pieces, there's going to be a silver and there's going to be a gold. They will be the exact same price. They will hopefully not have a time wait. We'll see. We're going to play with this. This is the first thing that we're going to test out in the first set of the 4 of these will come out in about a week. It's the January edition of the Menagerie, so we're going to see how it goes. And I'm really excited about it because I think this looks so much better. Here's the other thing, and I know you Trouties that have been with Manic Trout for a long time, we've talked about how sometimes they can get it's like the edges of them. They're not sharp by any means. They just are not... They're metal. I mean, it's just metal. So the wonderful thing about the plating that I also really loved is that it made it very soft. It was like satiny on the back. So this gold will do the same thing. And I think this is going to be a great improvement. And I think that going forward, we'll see. I don't know. This is what we're going to try out in 2018 that started... Did we say 2018, 2018? I don't know. I'll go back and forth. But this is what was started this year. Thank you to you Trouties. I would like to say for a moment, I'm wearing the Ghost Pawn earrings. Aren't these fun? This is one of my favorite designs. When I got my ears pierced, I found out that my ears are uneven back in the day. And when I got them pierced, the woman piercing my ears was like, oh, your earlobes are uneven. So do I make them so they're even to your earlobe or to your head? Or I don't know. But whatever happened, look at how much longer this one is hanging on me. It's kind of funny, isn't it? I have uneven earlobes. Usually I have so much hair that you can't tell. But I came home last night and our flight got delayed in every way possible by a few hours, and this is essential. It's not a style choice. It's a you don't want to see what my hair looks like choice. So anyway, that is an exciting thing of this year that happened that is going to carry through to the next year. So what else is going to carry through to the next year? I know that we all love to hear little bits of behind the scenes. Like I said, the next Menagerie collection comes out in the first week of January, which, holy cow, was already this next week. Who can even believe it? So that will be the kickoff, and that was a little preview of what it's going to be. Do you like those little grapes there? I know many of you Trouties love the wine. The VIP group is like, we love wine. Yeah. Make a necklace for us. So I did. Or maybe I said, should I make this necklace? And they were like, yay. Anyway, that's going to happen. The next thing, besides the silver gold situation, is that I need to redo packaging a little bit and work on that. I'm noticing that some of you live in areas where your post office is maybe a little more aggressive, and I think it's when the things are in the boxes and they can rattle, I think that's when the problem can start happening. So some of them are fragile. Like sometimes the fluorite can get in the this necklace, the fluorite version can get a little manhandled. It's just a sensitive gemstone. You know, if you drop the gemstone on tile, that it will break. Well, if you really shake the thing around, sometimes that can happen, and that's a shame. And then we have to exchange your necklace right away. I have to send you a new one quick, and who wants to deal with that? So I'm thinking of ways to package that still makes everything lightweight. The problem is I used to do the priority boxes, but if you order if you order stuff that has to go in 2 jewelry boxes, they don't fit in the priority boxes. I cannot fit more than one. They can't fit sideways, the large rectangle. So the priority boxes are not really big enough to do that. And then you have to go up to the big size. So this is the thought for this coming year, how to send jewelry better. I know we all like the box and the gift wrap. I don't know. Comments. Give me comments. Do you have feedback on that? Do you have any ideas? Let me know. The bubble mailer I use because that in the priority envelope can fit more than a priority box. That's why I tend to do those. You can but maybe if I change what the jewelry boxes are. The other issue is that anything that is actually sold as a jewelry designed, a box designed to hold jewelry, like the silver boxes that it comes in, that's the biggest size deep. I can get longer, but some of the stones are thicker than that, especially in the M collection pieces. I'd also like to have different boxes for that, but I don't know. I have to go to decorative food boxes for those big things. So these are the things that I want to work on this year. This is kind of like what is on my mind to improve on. Besides, I always like to, I'm constantly freshening up the website and changing. I talked about that last week, that when I took down the gift guide, I added that you can shop more by collections. You can shop by like the silver pieces now, and you can shop by like the color of the year or things like that. So I may play more with that if you guys like it. Feedback, love the feedback, comment below. Let's see, what else okay, so I keep talking about it. It'll probably happen in the next couple of weeks. I'm like looking around at those horrible gold walls. I actually, and I've had them right here, I went to the hardware store a couple of months ago, maybe, before the holidays started, and I got the samples of the paint to try. I don't know if you guys have seen these. You now can get like these things, so they're like clear paper, like printer paper sized, and you paint your sample on, and then you can put like a big square right up on your wall, and because it's clear behind it, it doesn't influence the color how white would or something like that. So I laughed because when I first decided on colors for the studio, there were like a variety of blues from like a royal all the way to a dark. Somehow when I was in there, then I started researching more, and I got really into like a midnight navy blue. Then somehow when I was in the store getting the samples, I ended up getting samples. I don't know if you can see them, but like the little dots on the top, they're all the same. They're like I'm one number off. So I'm going to this week try to get, I was starting off with like things like this, and I want midnight blue. There's so much trim in this room that I think the midnight blue and the white trim will look lovely. When I finish it, I'll maybe later today, I'll throw up my mood board for it. I will hopefully get those samples at least on the wall so I can go and get the gallon of paint. Figure if you have the gallon of paint, you're like halfway there. And because it's such a dark color, do I prime, do I not? I don't know. But there is that. That is definitely going to happen sooner than later. I also, as promised, because I'm coming up on the 15-year anniversary of Manic Trout this month in January, I am going to use that as a motivation to get the archive together. I've started working on that of all of the jewelry over the years. It has been requested multiple times from those of you in the VIP group, and I really want to be able to give that to you. Just as it's fun. It's not, it's basically just looking at a book lit or a PDF of reviewing the jewelry of the ages and having the names next to them so you can see. It's a little fuzzy timeline wise in the beginning because I don't have pictures of the really early stuff. Everything was on pink. I didn't know better. And I talked about this in last week's video, so you can go watch video 39 about it. But that I am working on. And I also, if you're not in it yet, please join the Trouty community. Is a group connected to the Manic Trout Facebook page now. And I started this for a few reasons. One, I have noticed that the Trouties were enjoying having conversations with each other. And sometimes when you are conversing on a page for a business, it feels a little weird because it's very public. So if you would like to converse on a little bit, it is a closed group. It is not secret, but I do have to add you in to keep out the riffraff of the internet. And I also want the group because due to the algorithm, I have X amount of followers on Facebook. Let's say the number of followers I have are up here for the page, and the number of people that see the post are like way at my feet. I mean, it's insane. And I do boost and do everything I can to help you see them. But there are things like codes, the sample sale, that people just, new products that I know that you Trouties want to see them and you just are not able to. So I started the group for two reasons. One, I want you guys to be able to continue like chatting with one another in a place maybe you feel safer, and two, not that Manic Trout page is not safe, it just is very public, and two, so you can actually see things that are being said and being commented on. I am there and I'm part of the conversation, but I would love for you Trouties to be in charge of that, and that is your space. So if you go to the groups on the Manic Trout Facebook page, just click on the thing, and if you're not following Manic Trout, please do. Click on the necklace photo. Join that community. I'll add you right in there. And we're kind of slowly getting the conversation going. It did start during the chaos of the pre-holiday. But guess what, guys? It is a new year. You can tell I've been back in New York because I'm you-guysing it all over the place. And like all y'all has like completely left my vocabulary. Oh my goodness. I had the best bacon, egg, and cheese yesterday from a deli where the delightful man behind the counter was all sorts of sassy. And it was so nice to be back there. I love how New Yorkers are a nice mix of like helpful and nice, but they're really sarcastic at the same time. And it explains a lot about me when people are there with me in New York and they're like, oh, I get you. Now I understand. So there you go. But this has been a long, rambling last live video of the year. It's appropriate. I appreciate so much that you come and watch these, and thank you so much for being a Troutie. I love designing jewelry for you and making you feel beautiful, prepared, and ready to take on anything. So Trouties, make sure you're following along on the Manic Trout page, join the community, and I will see you here on Fridays at 1 p.m. Central in the new year. Happy New Year, Trouties!